To understand the Victoria plum is to step directly into the golden age of English orchards. The fruit known today across Britain as one of the quintessential backyard plums holds a name famously associated with Queen Victoria, yet the story of its origin is woven more from horticultural tradition than royal endorsement. Unlike many European plums that trace their ancestry through France, Germany, or the Ottoman trading routes of the Middle Ages, the Victoria plum emerged distinctly as a British cultivar, widely believed to have been first cultivated proximate to Alderton, Sussex, sometime during the early 19th century. Its original name was Sharp's Emperor, attributed to a nurseryman, Mr. Sharp of Brixton. But soon after introduction, commercial growers sought marketing prestige, renaming it to Victoria, an association that stuck permanently. The fruit itself is unmistakable. Victoria plums are oval, elongated, finely tapered at the stem end, and painted with a thin layer of lavender blue bloom across a red-tone base skin. When harvested at peak maturity, the fruit skin is tender, with a faint mottling of golden freckles where sunlight touched the surface most intensely. The inside flesh is yellow-amber, fibrous yet yielding, characterized by a surprisingly aromatic sweetness when fully tree-ripened. The flavor profile is as structured as its visual identity. At first taste, the Victoria is distinctly mild. There is not the explosive acidity of a damson, nor the soft perfume of a greengage. Instead, the Victoria is assertively sweet with a restrained floral trait. The flesh softens dramatically as the fruit ripens off the branch, developing a jam-like texture. It is a plum that improves day by day, transitioning through taste phases rather than delivering flavor all at once. This adaptability is part of why Victorian households embraced it so completely. In an era before refrigeration, fruit was judged not solely by harvest quality but by its behavior in storage, transport, boiling, baking, and fermentation. The Victoria plum excelled in all categories. It preserved well in syrup, held shape in pies, concentrated flavor in jam kettles, and fermented into both plum brandy and wine with remarkable stability. To speak of Victorian cookery is to speak of preserves, and the Victoria was central in that tradition. Across English households, the fruit was slow-boiled with cane sugar, citrus peel, clove, cinnamon, or occasionally red wine, producing thick conserve stored in glass and ceramic jars sealed with wax paper discs. Winter pantries often displayed rows of ruby-purple jars labeled simply VP 1867 or Victoria, late August. The plum was not merely culinary, it shaped planting practices. Orchards that contained Victoria trees benefited from reliable cropping. The fruit was known to be self-fertile. One tree could yield abundant food without cross-pollination. This self-sufficiency transformed backyard gardens into miniature fruit economies. Many English villages knew the sight: late August, ladders against trees, children collecting fallen fruit in canvas sacks, mothers boiling sugar in copper pots. The agricultural significance of the Victoria plum was immense. It represented an era when fruit was still seasonal, deeply local, celebrated annually rather than purchased year-round. The anticipation of ripening marked the calendar. Harvest was communal. The plum belonged to time rather than availability. Yet the Victoria plum is not a perfect fruit. If harvested prematurely, it can be dry, chalky, and understated. Its sweetness emerges only with patience. If left too long on the branch, the plum collapses quickly, the flesh turning soft, leaking syrup, attracting insects. The fruit requires attentiveness, timing, and sensory awareness from its grower. Modern commercial fruit distribution has made this plum more elusive. Shoppers accustomed to firm, durable supermarket plums often overlook the Victoria's fragility. It bruises easily. It does not ship across continents. Its life cycle favors small orchards rather than industrial farming systems. But that limitation is where its legacy thrives. Across Britain, especially Kent, Shropshire, Norfolk, and Yorkshire, heritage farm cooperatives are maintaining original stock trees. Garden enthusiasts deliberately graft Victoria scions onto semi-dwarfing rootstocks, reviving the older orchard geometry of clustered, hand-harvestable trees. In British agricultural memory, the Victoria plum is the fruit of late summer softness, the fruit of cooling evenings, of end-of-season sunlight. It carries the emotion of timing: too early, and it has not yet revealed itself; too late, and it is gone. Culturally, it remains symbolic of an era when the meaning of sweetness was not universal but seasonal. A sweetness that had a beginning, a peak, and a conclusion. When eaten properly, sunripe, just days before the skin loosens toward translucence, the experience is not of sugar alone, but of warmth, scent, texture, memory, and historical continuity. The Victoria plum carries more than flavor. It carries ritual, and that, more than any royal naming, is why it remains unforgettable.